Morning world, welcome to Tuesday 18th of April and the start of another lovely day. Cattle really want to go out, but we've had no rain. The ground is actually starting to crack up out there where it's dried up so much. I've heard of a moorland fire. I can't remember where it was, a bracken fire somewhere. It's like, you know, so it's dry. Do you remember yesterday the guys were cutting up that ash tree? No, you don't, because I never took the camera out yesterday. So you don't know what happened yesterday. I had a day off from the camera yesterday. All right, go back another day. Do you remember I went to the farm and we saw that ash tree that had fallen down, just snapped off out in the field, and I wanted to get it cleared up out the way before the grass started going there, because that's mowing grass out there. Well, most of the top of that ash tree is now over there. The main stem of the ash tree, which was fundamentally hollow and rotten and not really worth the amount of effort it was going to take to convert it into firewood. Reg very kindly went over there with the Manitou yesterday. Father thinks I should have done it with his tractor. I think I'd have broken his tractor trying to move that. So Reg went over with the Manitou, which he said only just managed it and has pushed the stem back into the ditch and hedge line. So we've got a load of firewood to convert. So that, some of it's a bit pithy. That's no good. That'll have to be chucked out, that bit. But hopefully there's enough there which will help pay the wages for cutting the tree up yesterday. I need at least 4 bags out of it to pay. And I reckon there's 2.5 there. Job what I'm doing anyway. So we have got quite a pile of stuff to convert. So I'll come out here with a skid steer on and push this up. But yeah, we sort of cut the pile up. I mean, we had cleared this right back to the back edge. We cut it up and I think, oh, we're out of firewood. Then all of a sudden, it's full again. The lads hate it when it gets this full because they come and look at it and know it's all got to be converted. But, you know, on quiet days or days when we finish early, there's something to do, I've at least got them a job to do. So I did think I was going to be doing a bale first thing this morning, but do you know what? They have got enough. There's a couple of hours in there at least, and there's at least a couple of hours over there. So there's no panic this morning. Wood pigeons are out there quietly picking up all my grass seed. Is there the slightest green haze over that? I don't think we had enough rain to germinate that. Let's go and have a look. Do you know, I think some of it has germinated. Or is that grass seed coming through? Or grass coming through from underneath? Old grass. But there does seem to be quite a lot of new stuff out here, isn't there? That needs some rain as well. Yeah, there is a green haze all over it. I'm quite pleased about that. I think the biggest problem I'm going to have is the pigeons and probably the geese. Because fresh young grass, yummy, delicious. Plenty of grass seed here that hasn't been picked up by the birds or had a chance to germinate yet, but yeah, if I put the camera down with the sun behind, you might be able to just catch some of the green haze. Right, nothing desperate whilst doing it here for 10 minutes. I'm gonna have some breakfast. Right, I haven't really done much since I last spoke to you. I've loaded the fridges up on there. I've frightened Holly twice. Boy, I've got a little job in there to do. Right then, where did he put it? So we've got our wedge back for the big log splitter. Mikey went and fetched it in my car earlier. So they finished their job early, so they were back early. Has he left it over there? No, can't see it there. What's he doing with that? So I thought that, you know, I got half an hour before, oh, there it is. I've got half an hour before I have to go to the tip with the fridges, so I could fit that. Now come over here. I was looking for that the other day, I couldn't find it. My Zert key, I'm gonna go and put that back where it's supposed to be. To use it the other day, I thought, oh, where have I put that? Because I hadn't put it back there. Anyway, are you 19, I think. Oh, maybe 17 then. Got that wrong. Are you 17? No. Are you a bloody awkward size? That is 17, yeah. No. It's not. It's not. Bloody well it is. Are they all 18s? I reckon you're a 19, so I actually do need that one and not that one. Right, okay. So that one's 19. He's loose anyway, that's okay. You can come off. So you're a stud. And you guys are bolts. So everything's got to have 2 washers by the looks of it. So I would put some stud lock on these, but as they've got a rather nasty habit of breaking off in here, I'm kind of erring more on telling the guys to check how tight their nuts and bolts are, you know, a bit more regularly perhaps. Right, that's that off. And I also need you off of there. You go in there and over that. I need something to bash you with. Kind of makes sense to bash you with a log. I'm quite tight on there, aren't you? I might have to. Ooh. I think that's got it. Right. Actually, want a little bit more. Don't go too much though. There he is. Don't watch this bit. He's on there. Right, so you. Oh, that's a bit silly. I need that bit first. You've got to go up on there. 1, 2. That's the wrong end. Bugger. Alright. Better to find out now. Right, before we put that in there tight, let's have the last bolt in there.
He's not reaching anything in there. Is that the long one in there then? Have I got it wrong way around? So that one I put there, I thought that was it's not biting at all on that. So, oh, right, you got to come off again. I didn't notice till I got all the bolts out that there was a long one, so it didn't click until it was too late. And yeah, the lads will be glad to have this back. None of them, after having this Wallenstein log splitter, are very keen on swinging an axe, because this thing makes life really, really easy in comparison. So you don't live down there. You've got to go in there, apparently, somewhere. Yeah, okay. I think we got it right this time. No. Right, and then this one goes at this end. Like, get in there, like that. I hope. Still feels tight. Oh, actually that don't feel too bad now. Snug. Well, whatever. That's how it's going now. That's how it's going. Done. Okay, the only one I can't do up is that little chap under there, just because I can't really get a span on it. So I've left the nut back on top, and I let the lads know that when they push that ram out first time, then you can get a spanner on it. I can either spend 20 minutes struggling with it, or they can push the ram out 6 inches and do it in 2 minutes. So I'm not struggling. Right, it is 6:15 in the evening. Sorted out tonight's upload. So I'm off over to Tether Farm in a second, just to go and see the aftermath. So yesterday the guys cut up the ash tree that had fallen down in Crookhorn. It's a field called Crookhorn. And then last night Reg went along with his Manitou and pushed what was left into the hedge. Apparently there was a little lump sticking out. So the guys were working in Titherington today, just down the road. So I sent them back to cut off the lump that was hanging out into the field. I just want to go and make sure they've cut off enough. It's one of those things that as long as it's out of the way of machinery and stuff like that, it's fine. We're going to let the ash stump stay there for as long as it takes to rot down. It will produce shelter, nourishment. Well, its wildlife value is still there. So it was a veteran ash. It was knackered, it fell over, but as far as the wildlife's concerned, it's still a little haven. So I'm just making sure everything's all right in here. You've got plenty. I already knew that because I only gave it to them a couple of hours ago. I didn't think you wanted to join me feeding the cattle again. The guys, I'm hoping, have made a bit of a hole in the pile out here. So they finished the job they were on lunchtime, and I didn't really see the point in setting them off for anything else. So, you know, I put the splitter head back on our big splitter. They'd already been out and cut up all the small stuff with the Eagle saw bench, so they changed over to the splitter. And yeah, so the ash that they cut up yesterday, that's off the saw bench, that fine sawdust, is now going in a bag for next year's firewood. And I'm hoping to get 4 bags out of it. If I get 4 bags out of it, I'll break even on the labour for yesterday, for what, as in the wages. If I get 5 bags out of it, I might make 50 quid. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? So yeah, there's still a fair, we need to make a hole in this before we bring any more home. Because I just looked at some other jobs, it could well mean bringing some more home. Right, so we are off to the farm. Look at that ash stump. What we got in here? That's sycamore. That's not that ash. There is a bit of ash in there, but not much. And a bit of ash in there. So, I might get 5 bags out of it. Be nice. Right, that's that kind of moved out the way. No, you don't want to get in there. So Reg said to me while he was over here moving the tree stuff, he said, do you want me to move that pipe from here to over there? I said, yes, please. So he did. So looking at this, if we get this bit of rain that we're promised Sunday and Monday, and it warms a bit, this should get away. It won't be long. End of the month maybe, we'll be mowing this. First bales of the year. I'm just wondering actually whether to pull the guys Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, pull the guys back here maybe Thursday and Friday and reduce that chap. I mean, it's not a great time to do it as far as the tree's concerned, because it's coming into leaf, but if it comes into leaf, we get a storm and some of this falls down across there, that'll be even worse. So I will be thinking about that. Anyway, that I think is far enough off the field. Firewood there, you could have brought that home. Another day. Right, so that's the remains of the stump. It is now pushed into the dry ditch. This ditch doesn't really carry any water because it only comes from the top of the hill there. So it's not going to be like, it's not like it's blocking the ditch, but that is going to create habitat for quite a lot of beasties, that is. If I get the guys back over here this week, they can finish raking that up. It's going to flatten a bit of the grass, but it might be better than a whole load of rubbish in my silage. But yeah, that will create a home for loads of beasties for quite a few years, so it can stay there. Right, I'll wander over to the cottage, see if Sam and Dave are there. They're busy stripping walls and peeling plaster and knocking down ceilings and stuff. They got 8 weeks. They've got their work cut out. You can see the stripes on their field. It's a shame, but there's nothing I can do about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 heads blocked up. Hello, mate. How are you doing? Little cuckoo flower. He's welcome. Right, well, I'm satisfied enough with that up there. In fact, I'm quite happy with that. Like I say, might get the guys back over here before this grass starts really going, because even if they flatten it down now, it's got a chance to spring back up. Yeah, and just reduce those two. Take some wind out of them. I reckon the Nissan cherry picker will come up here. It's definitely hard enough.